There we go again. Guy still there? It just dropped. I'm back. Okay. I don't know what's going on there. No, my screensaver's off. It seems like our internet connection's going up and down today or something. So there'll be 3 links to today's show. And then we paid the bill. The other Mullards are XF2 Mullards are my favorites, and Telefunkins. I mean, Telefunkins are really hard to find. You think Mullards are hard to find and expensive? Go find some Telefunkins, and they're like $500 a piece. Which is why I want to make tubes, and I won't charge that much money for them. It's just supply and demand. Telefunken didn't make a lot of BL34s, and they sound good. They're really an elegant sounding tube, and you can just push the shit out of them, and they're happy. So, it's very cool. Wow, it's almost 1 o'clock already. Should we even bother with this Dave Grohl quote, or you want to do that next week? Maybe I'll read it at the end of the show, and then we'll talk about it on Facebook over the week, and then come back on the show and wrap it up. Yeah, okay, this is the fair warning part. There's going to be a lot of cuss words on this. So, if you're offended by cuss words, I have no problem with that at all. I'm just giving you a chance to turn the volume down. So let me go read this here really quick. And I'll try to read it with the feeling that I think Dave had in it. Where is it? Okay. Okay, so here we go. So when I think about kids watching a TV show like American Idol or The Voice, then I think, oh, okay, that's how you become a musician. You stand in line for 8 fucking hours with 800 people at a convention center, and then you sing your heart out for someone, and then they tell you it's not fucking good enough. Can you imagine? It's destroying the next generation of musicians. Musicians should go to a yard sale, buy an old fucking drum set, get in their garage and just suck. And get their friends to come over, and they'll suck too. And then they'll fucking start playing, and then they'll have the best time they've ever had in their lives, and all of a sudden they'll become Nirvana. Because that's exactly what happened with Nirvana. Just a bunch of guys that had some shitty old instruments, and they got together and started playing some noisy ass shit. And they became the biggest band in the world. That can happen again. You don't need a fucking computer or the internet or The Voice or American Idol. How was that for a dramatic reading? Was that good? How was that? Was that all right? So what do you guys think he means by that? I mean, I think I know what he means by that. Oh, I like The Voice and American Idol too. I'm not putting him down. I think what he's saying is, that these shows are having an adverse effect on the music business. Because there's no denying there's some fantastic singers on those shows. And it's a great platform for unknown singers to be heard. You can't deny that. That's great. But I think what he's trying to say in his Dave Grohlishness, which I love, by the way, is that this part of the music business is being neglected. Because shows like The Voice and American Idol, they don't cost much to produce, and those kids go into indentured servitude if they get a record deal. They don't make much money, unless they, some of them go on and do really well, but it's really unusual. I mean, you look on American Idol, there's Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood, are the only two that have really gone on to have a sustainable career. And no one from The Voice has done anything. But I think what he's saying is it doesn't encourage the artistry of it. Because to be an artist in anything, you have to woodshed. You know, Michelangelo fucked up 10,000 rocks before he became a good sculptor. You know what I mean? Like, David Cook he's from Kansas City. He seems like a really, really nice guy. But he's not huge. He's doing pretty well. He sells out tours and stuff, but he doesn't have a lot of mainstream traction. Carrie Underwood and Kelly Clarkson are the only two that I think. But I think what's missing is even look at record deals. Like I was in a band. We, had a record deal in the 80s. And the rule of thumb back then was if you didn't have a hit by your third record, you were on thin ice. Now the rule is if your first release on iTunes doesn't get a lot of traction, you're screwed. They don't develop artists anymore. It's like, hey, can we take this girl with blonde hair and big tits and sell her tomorrow? That's it. Can we just slap her in the studio? We'll send in 3 songwriters and 2 producers, and she'll just do what we tell her and make a bunch of money off of it. That's a different music business than what Dave Grohl's talking about here. Does that make sense to you guys? I mean, I think that's what he's saying. And there's nothing wrong with The Voice, and there's nothing really wrong with American Idol. I think what he's saying to the kids is, you don't have to do that. You don't need that. Because I think he's worried, and a lot of people are worried, that kids think the only way that they can get into the music business is to be on a reality show. And they're maybe not motivated to go get an old drum set and jam in the garage until they get it right. It's just, I'm going to learn how to sing really loud high notes. And Randy Jackson's, who's a friend of mine, sorry Randy if you're watching, I doubt he is though, he's a very busy guy. Randy Jackson's going to say, I liked it, you go through to the next round. So I think this is being misinterpreted by a lot of people, because I saw a lot of people go, he's an asshole, I like The Voice. I like The Voice too, I think it's cool. I like the premise of they pick without looking. I think that's much better than American Idol, but that's another conversation. But he's saying, guys, if you want to play rock and roll in a band, go do it. You don't have to worry about auditioning for The Voice. You don't have to worry about auditioning. That's one way to do it. Here's another way. I think it's a legitimate point. And you're right, The Voice and American Idol are more about entertainment than music, but I think a lot of people don't make that distinction. It is kind of related, Bill. You're right. Bill says, I think we're getting back to is the guitar rock dead thing. This might be a case of that. It might be related. The Voice is what it is. And I'm not against this mainstream just whoring out of children for money. I mean, because that's really what it is. It's entertaining. It's fun. I don't like the way they string the kids out and make them suffer and cry all the time. I think that is usurious and not necessary. But, you couldn't have a band competition this way because you'd have to have bands playing the same songs. It's too disparate, So, yeah, I don't like the way and his mother's dying of cancer, and they all sit around and cry, and they're just making money. They're not paying that kid for that. When they go there and shoot that spot and his mom's dying, that one kid on, I think it's The Voice, yeah, his mother just died of lung cancer during the competition. They worked the shit out of that. And they made money. They sold commercials based on that. They didn't give that kid anything. That's right. Tom York would have never made it past the first round. He would have made it on any of those auditions. They're messing around with the amps out here. Sorry for the noise. But But that doesn't mean, I mean, some of those kids are great singers. I mean, like I have two daughters, so I end up watching American Idol and The Voice with them because I'll do anything with my daughters. I don't care. I'm just glad that they want to do something with me. So, what's her name? Candace Glover on American Idol. That girl is ridiculously good singer. Yeah, imagine Bob Dylan auditioning for American Idol. They would have done one of those joke segments where they made fun of him and then made money on it. You know, when they're making fun of those kids that are goofy, that are nerds or outliers or just different. You know what they're doing is they're making money off those kids. They don't pay those kids for that. Yeah, sorry, Neil Young, you're a little pitchy. Yeah, you're a little pitchy. Mr. Jagger, I think your enunciation is kind of strange, so we're not going to send you on to Hollywood, okay? Yeah. So that's all fine and good. There's nothing wrong with that. I think what Dave Grohl is saying here is that's only one part of it. There's this other part that's also great. And he's sympathizing for these kids who probably watch TV and go, I'm not motivated to play because I have to go do that. He's saying, no, you don't. It's okay, buddy. Get a guitar, go in the garage with your buddies and bang it out. That's equally as cool. And, you know, this is probably an off-the-cuff comment that he made. You know, it's not like a thought-out speech that he gave. Well, I better make sure I clear up these points, you know. Yeah. So anyway, Dave Grohl, how much do you love him? But you know what I love about Dave is he's just got the balls to... it's on the 65 amps page there, Anita. Hey, Mickey Kid, you made it. And once again, there will be 3 links to today's show because we got cut off twice for some reason. I just love it that Dave has the balls to say this. And I think a lot of people are misinterpreting it. You know what I mean? He's not slamming The Voice or American Idol. He's saying, kids, don't be discouraged if you're under the impression this is the only way to get into the music business. You don't have to do this. You don't need American Idol. You don't need The Voice. You can use them if you like, but you don't need them. And I think that's cool. It's a very important distinction to make. So I beat a dead horse there. I just want to make sure it's getting across. So, and did you like my dramatic reading from Dave Grohl? Did I do okay? Oh, he did hit the rock and roll lottery hooking up with Cobain, but I think a lot of it was him. Like that band took off when he got in there too. He was the last spice in the mix that made it work. Even if he is slamming them, his message is positive. Yeah, I don't really think he is slamming them. I think he's just saying, honestly, what if you're a kid and you go sing in front of a room of 800 strangers and it's hard and you're scared and you're shaking and it's not the best day of your life and you're not singing full potential and somebody goes, yeah, you suck. How horrible is that? I mean, you imagine mentally like driving 4 hours and sitting in a football stadium all day. Okay, you're up next. You got 30 seconds. And you're scared and you're a kid and you're a long way from home and you're not in your comfort zone and you're not with your band and you don't know the song and you walk into a room and there's spotlights everywhere and there's Keith Urban and Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey and Randy Jackson going, all right, saying, you know, like that's scary stuff. And you don't have to do that. Yeah, I just like he's just real and authentic. I thought it was really cool. Can't be much worse than having a beer bottle thrown at you in a beer joint. Yeah, that's true. That's right. Good quote here. It's all about 1,000 little successes and failures, not one moment on TV. And you're going to sing Welcome to the Jungle. All right. None of the judges made it by winning a talent contest. That's right. Keith Urban, you know, is 44 years old, I think. And he started playing for a living, I think, when he was 13 or 14 years old, and slugged it out on the road for 20 years before he came to Nashville. 15 years before he came to Nashville. Got to look up pictures of Keith. You know, he's had his teeth fixed, he's going to the gym, he's all healthy. And he was playing county fairs and bars and casinos and riverboats and all that kind of stuff. That guy earned it. Whether you like him or not, it's a different conversation, but I know he's a hard-working guy. And he really slugged it out for years. Same with Randy Jackson. Mariah Carey, I don't know so much. Nicki Minaj, you know. I know she did a lot of work in Manhattan for free before she ever got any traction at all. Yeah, R.J. Sanders, I saw what Harry Connick said. I thought he was kind of a butthole about it, but he was correct. He was being a little too rigid, I think. But, you know, because he's saying there's only one version of the song. Yeah, okay. Well, there's not. But he was correct that they should stick with it. Fletcher 58, that's a great statement you make. How many people like me don't even get my groove on for 5 or 10 minutes into playing a show, and I don't sing? Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I need a couple of songs to get my voice loosened up and to get my hands loosened up. I couldn't imagine going on, you know, sit around all day long. I've been sitting here for 6.5 hours. All right, come on, you're up and sing. You know, hey, just sitting there all day would put me in a horrible mood and I'd feel like absolute crap. But then you got 30 seconds to sing, like, let's jam for 10 minutes at least or something. Who is saying the same thing as Dave? Bill Studio. Oh, we're getting back to gear talk. What do you think of the Silent Sister? I've never used it. If I had to use one speaker with the producer, I wouldn't use the Alnico Blue alone with the producer, Bill. You'll blow it. If you got to use one alone, use the G12H30. There's so many comments here, I can't keep up. The UK version of the voice seems to be a little more humane. Probably is. I just say, you know, the kids cry all the time. I'm a dad. I watch these kids crying and go, oh my God, like, why are they crying all the time? This competition must be absolute hell. All you do is cry and sleep in a strange bed. Oh, this means everything to me. It means everything. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean everything to you.